Hey, my super beautiful, lovely souls. Lizzie the Lightworker here. Welcome to my channel, Rainbow Moon Readings. And I hope that you are going to stick around and hit that subscribe button so you can see all the interesting, inventive, healing types of readings that I do here. We're in Aries season, and I would love to welcome Aries and non-Aries. Adopt that Aries energy for fighting and power and sort of getting up and going and lighting that fire and bringing the fire back to things. Okay, today I'm going to touch on a very important subject because I do feel like Aries season is going to be about releasing repressed anger and old angers. So some things that maybe we don't even know about, maybe they're so deep hidden in our cores that we're not even sure where this anger comes from at times. All right, so this is what this is going to be. It's going to be releasing old anger, healing old anger spread. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go about 5 cards. We're going to talk about the origin of this anger. Maybe it's from childhood. Maybe it's a person, a place, a thing, a situation. Maybe it's something chronic situation that's chronically affecting you, making you angry. How has this affected you? What kind of effects has it had on you, your personality, your drive, how you are as a person? How has it affected you? How it blocks you from progressing or growing or accomplishing things. And then we'll talk about how to accept it and release it, and then some steps or advice sort of to help prevent this from either returning in the future or sort of advice to prevent it from happening again. Okay, guys? So we're going to get right into it. So now I said that first question is going to be the origin of anger. Okay, so how did this originate? Okay, so to me, I'm feeling like it's a lot more with words and a lot more with repressed thoughts. You could have been verbally abused as maybe a child or a teen, or maybe even in a relationship. Okay, to me this says verbal abuse, under attack by someone. Someone who always had to have it right, someone who always had to get the last word in, someone who would just sort of shut you up or talk over you or make you feel stupid for asking a question. A lot of verbal, okay? I'm feeling like this is high verbal abuse. And in turn, it could have made you become a person who was either passive aggressive, where you do some things out of anger, but you're afraid to face confrontation, or it could have made you hyper vigilant, where you're always ready to fight and you're always ready to defend yourself. So just in general, guys, anger is the most highly toxic emotion. It's a reaction emotion, okay? But I do feel like there's secondary emotions that go along with it. If you can imagine like anger, like the roots of a tree, and as it grows, the anger that's inside of you, as this anger grows, it branches off, okay? And in most cases, it's going to create more toxic emotions or branches that you're going to have to deal with or that are going to trouble you, okay? It's going to create hatred, envy, addictions, poor attitude, poor mental attitude, jealousy, violence, anxiety, fears, defeat, sense of defeat, always feeling like you have to be on the defense for yourself. And that's a lot of what this card has to do with, okay? I'm not a therapist. I don't claim to be, but I do have a lot of experience in human services fields and have learned quite a bit. And just dealing with my own anger and in my own life, I am only saying this from a spiritual sense perspective. Anger will stunt you. It will absolutely stop up and stunt your spiritual growth. If anybody's out there trying to develop their psychic abilities or their skills, it will absolutely stop that up. It will not let you have your full clarities. Okay, so purging this repressed anger is a must if we can. Okay, it's a lot of work. All right, so now how has this affected you? I feel like it's affected you with opportunities. All right, I feel like it may have put you I'm going to say this is from childhood, okay? Because when I see this, this is childhood. So yeah, it's definitely from childhood. But I feel like it could put you in a childlike or sort of a bit of like a childish energy at times. Sort of where you feel, like I said, under attack, and the way a child would lash out, okay? They would either lash out in a sort of innocent way, but would be like childish, like how a child has a tantrum or a child reacts to something that they can't get. Feeling like, yeah, it blocked you up, maybe possibly for opportunities. You may have always felt slightly behind, where a lot of your friends or associates were developing quickly or faster than you. They were sort of getting ahead, and you were sort of trying to figure out which direction to take in life and how to go and how to get there. So yeah, I feel like it could have held you back in many ways, mainly with careers, opportunities, finding opportunities, and education. It definitely could have stunted your education. Anger can definitely do that, okay? It disguises itself. Anger can disguise itself, and it absolutely will affect your job and career. It will affect your education. It will affect your relationships, and it will definitely affect your children. Okay, so that's another issue. I don't know if this is going on where this repressed anger is affecting a child. Okay, a child might be feeling like confused, and they might be feeling like they sort of want to get away from it and get away from you in those states. Okay. Now, please remember, there is no blame here. This purpose of this reading is to help and to get you unstuck from this anger. If that's why you're here, if you clicked the video, there is probably, some curiosities you have about that. Okay. All right. So how it blocks you? How does this anger block you? I think it blocks you from being happy and obtaining your ultimate goals. Okay. I feel like being in a state of anger, of repressed anger, it could definitely make you feel like you are not good enough, or you can get mad at yourself when you're not progressing the way that you want, when you're not seeing the action or you're not seeing the results that you want. It could definitely make you upset and make you want to give up. So that's how it could block you or affect you, definitely. I'm feeling like, it creates so much of those reactive emotions, like jealousy. Okay, for example, you could wonder why everyone else around you does so well and they're okay, and they have the money they want, and they have the job they want, and they have the life that they want. And you could look at these people and just kind of have resentment or jealousy or envy, and those emotions are just created out of more anger, if that makes any sense. Okay, so and guys, you know what, like I said, I'm not a therapist. I don't claim to be. I don't want you guys to think that that's what I'm trying to do here, give you guys a therapy session. But if anger is affecting your daily life, I urge you guys to seek the appropriate treatment or the appropriate counsel. Okay, so yeah, uprooting this anger, the core of this anger, will help you along in the rest of your life. And it's not easy, and it's not going to be easy, but I can definitely give you guys some ideas of how to deal with it, especially in the spiritual sense, in the spiritual journey, okay? Because being angry does attract negative to your life, and negative entities and negative things. That mindset, okay? It's like going with the law of attraction, okay? And the law of attraction does work if you work it. Okay, so how to accept it and possibly release it? How can you accept it? It's gonna take work. I just said that. Oh man, my cards are spot on today, guys. Yeah, it's gonna take some work, okay? I feel like change in attitude is rather difficult to do, but I feel like this is the message in the cards here, okay? Like I said, it's such a highly toxic emotion because, like, look at what it can do. What I'm gonna say is, how to accept it. I feel like it's gonna take a lot to go through where the root of it is coming from, but I feel like when someone becomes angry, they're not in control. All right. So if you can wrap your mind around that and just that alone, you're not in control. Not in control of the emotions, the secondary emotions. And a lot of people who get angry, it is because of control or lack of control, okay? So you put the work in for yourself. That's a suggestion here from this card. But you also need to know when enough is enough, because sometimes this is passive aggressive too. Like you could be doing all the work at work and be so angry, and that creates a repressed anger too. And it just keeps adding to that tree. Go back to the tree, guys. Think of the tree. It just keeps adding. The branches keep branching off and branching off, and it just keeps growing. Okay, so this is about asserting yourself, standing up for yourself, okay? Speaking your mind, letting people know when you're mad, not just like burying it, because if you bury it, it's just gonna, like I said, create more, okay? So yeah, breathe it out. Definitely speak up, speak your mind. If it's too much for you, you need to say so. You need to assert yourself better, okay? And be in it for the long haul, okay? Because it is going to take some work. It's not an easy fix, it's not a quick fix, it's not an overnight fix, okay? All right, so now steps or advice to help prevent this from happening in the future, or, you know, sort of like a final advice type of a card, let's just say here. Okay, yeah, it's just going to be work, okay? Sort of like reassessing everything in your life, I feel like, okay? If you're not happy with something, it's only up to you to change it. Like, you have the power to change it if you're not happy. If you feel like you haven't got the proper education, it's up to you to sort of change it and go back to school or up your knowledge base. If you feel like, you know, you're constantly under attack and you have to defend yourself all the time, it might be the people that you're around. You know, if there are other people that are doing better than you, it's quite possible maybe they're really not, and it's a facade and an illusion. You just never know, guys, okay? Really, it's for the self-focus, okay? This whole spread is really, the core of it is for your self-focus. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about what they think. And assert yourself when you need to assert yourself, okay? Don't let people walk all over you. Don't let people take advantage of you. Sort of put your foot down, and enough is enough. That will definitely help not create more anger, because then you're just gonna be angry at yourself, you know, for allowing this, okay? All right, so just some tips, guys. Tips to sort of help rid it, and I'm going to say this on a spiritual sense, okay? Because really the first thing that you can do is breathe. Breathe it out, okay? Breathe it out, let it go. Anger gets stored in the gut and the throat, so a good tip is to scream. Even if it's in a pillow, or if it's in the car with the windows all rolled up and you have like loud music, let it out. You'd be surprised how much that clears your throat chakra, and it clears all that bad energy out from your gut and your throat. Okay, you can do that on a daily basis, or when you need to do it, just do it. You can swear, you can curse. You can curse out whoever hurt you. You know, you can pretend they're right there, right in front of you, and just go wild and sort of curse them out. You know, you can do this, like I said, as many times as you need to, or as often as you need to, okay? Just make sure you're safe and you're in a private area that, you know, you can do this. You can hit things. You can punch a pillow. You can use a toy bat. You can hit the couch. You can get a punching bag and use it out in your garage or in your basement. You can run. You can work out. You can meditate after these sessions, okay? I call them sessions because, you know, you set them up for yourself, and, you know, maybe it can help clear some things out, okay? I feel like just by adopting some of this, guys, you can get into that right mindset and definitely clear this up, so in the future you can have a better, more fulfilling future, a better, more fulfilling relationships with people, because a lot of the time anger affects our relationships. Our relationships suffer because of it, and we don't even realize it sometimes. You know, we're so quick to blame the other person that we don't even realize it, or we're so quick to blame ourselves. So that's all part of it. When you do these sessions, guys, be prepared for like those secondary emotions, the guilt, the fear, the sadness. Those may surface out of the anger. It's like branches on a tree, remember? So I would lie down, breathe in, meditate, sort of try to let those feelings go. Even if you imagine that it's just the word guilt, put it in a bubble, send it to the universe and watch it pop and dissipate. If it's hurt, send it up in a bubble, watch it pop and dissipate. I mean, I know this sounds kind of lame maybe to some of you, but it does work, okay? You know, there's an old saying, anger not just for today, okay? That's in Reiki. So if you anger not just for today, the healthful effects, it's because it gets you in a better pattern of thinking that way. I'm not going to get angry today. I'm not going to let something bother me that's so stupid or so insignificant, because it takes your energy, okay? This, to me, the world card says sort of getting back on track, getting your energy back, getting your energy under control, getting things under control, meeting your goals. Set small goals. Don't overwhelm yourself. You know, and it's also, I believe, about forgiveness, okay? So like I said, when those secondary emotions come, forgive. Forgive yourself first, okay? Forgive who has hurt you, what has hurt you, what or who wronged you. Forgive, let it go, release it, because it is not serving you. And it will only keep you down, and it will only affect you, and it will only keep making you attract negative energies to yourself and negative effects of things to yourself. Okay? You may need to repeat this process multiple times, guys, but it works if you work it. It works if you want it to work. Okay, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this, and please let me know what you think. If you'd like to see any more readings for Aries or an Aries season, I'm open to anything, guys, okay? So just leave me some comments. Let me know how all of you are doing, and if you've tried any of these techniques and they have worked for you, or what you're working on. Love and light to all of you guys. Many, many blessings.